The camera caught Aryna saying something in frustration, which one fan through lip reading interpreted as "once a year, even a stick shoots." So this apparently is a Russian idiom, which essentially means the same thing as "even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while." And Aryna said the same exact thing, "once a year, even a stick shoots," back in 2023 during the US Open final against Madison Keys after the American bageled her in the opening set. And in my opinion, Sabalenka was...
The 2025 WTA finals in Riyadh was meant to be a celebration of the year's best tennis, but it quickly became one of the most controversial moments in recent history. In the finals, Elena Rybakina completely dominated Aryna Sabalenka, winning in straight sets. Yet it wasn't the match itself that grabbed headlines. It was what reportedly happened afterward. Multiple reports claimed that Sabalenka made racially charged remarks about Rybakina, sparking immediate backlash. The WTA has launched an investigation, and Rybakina has publicly shared her reaction, leaving the tennis world asking how things escalated to this point. As for the match, Rybakina came out aggressive from the first serve, hitting winners from every corner and delivering powerhouse serves that Sabalenka simply couldn't counter. She took the first set 6-3 and closed it out in a tense second set tiebreak, 7-6, leaving no doubt about her commanding performance on the court. It was a dominant display on the biggest stage in women's tennis. Elena Rybakina delivered some of the finest tennis we've seen from her in over 2 years, overcoming the injuries and inconsistent form that had challenged her throughout the season. On this day in Riyadh, she looked every bit like the Wimbledon champion of 2022. For Aryna Sabalenka, it had to sting. Entering the tournament as the world #1, fresh off a dominant season and in peak form during the lead-up weeks, she was the clear favorite. But Rybakina dismantled her in the final. The tension grew when cameras caught Sabalenka muttering something in frustration mid-match. Fans fluent in Russian interpreted it as "once a year, even a stick shoots," an idiom meaning even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes. Essentially, Sabalenka appeared to suggest that Rybakina's win was luck rather than skill, adding an extra layer of controversy to an already dramatic finale.
And Aryna said the same exact thing, "once a year, even a stick shoots," back in 2023 during the US Open final against Madison Keys after the American bageled her in the opening set. And in my opinion, Sabalenka was frustrated talking about now this incident with Rybakina. I think Aryna was frustrated that Elena struggled with winning a big title for over 2.5 years, and finally the Kazakhstani woman played some of her best tennis.
Interestingly, Aryna Sabalenka had already used this same phrase back in 2023 during the US Open final against Madison Keys after Keys claimed the first set, which starts to reveal a pattern of brushing off opponents when matches slip out of her control. But the situation escalated once this latest match wrapped up. Sources close to the incident claim Sabalenka's reaction went beyond simple frustration, with reports suggesting she made racially insensitive remarks about Elena Rybakina, questioning the legitimacy of the Kazakh player's win. To be clear, these remain allegations, and no confirmed audio has surfaced, but the consistency of these reports has been enough for the Women's Tennis Association to open an official investigation. What is confirmed, however, is the tense moment during the trophy ceremony, where after her victory, Rybakina made a bold and deliberate move by refusing to pose for photos alongside the WTA CEO and Sabalenka. This wasn't just an accidental snub or a missed photo moment. Elena Rybakina, known across the tour for her calm and reserved demeanor, made a very deliberate choice to take a stand against what had been unfolding behind the scenes. Tennis journalist Ben Rothenberg pointed out that Rybakina is rarely expressive, the kind of player who doesn't celebrate wildly even after match point and usually keeps her emotions tightly controlled. That's exactly why this moment stood out. For someone like her to openly refuse to acknowledge the Women's Tennis Association was highly unusual, and it offered a rare, clear glimpse into just how deeply the situation had affected her.
seems to be some issue.
This is a player who doesn't give up much. I don't know if you saw her reaction on match point. Not exactly cartwheels. This is not a player who's particularly expressive. So that gesture, basically not acknowledging the WTA, was actually a rare glimpse into her.
This also isn't the first time Aryna Sabalenka has faced scrutiny for her reactions after tough losses. Earlier this year at the Australian Open final, she fell to Madison Keys and was again accused of downplaying her opponent's performance with dismissive remarks. A concerning pattern seems to be forming, where in high-pressure defeats, Sabalenka struggles to fully credit the player across the net. The same tone appeared after the 2023 US Open final against Coco Gauff, where she said in her press conference that Gauff didn't win because she played exceptionally, but rather because of Sabalenka's own mistakes, pointing out that many of those errors came from what she described as relatively easy shots.
She won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from, like, if you look from the outside, kind of like from an easy ball.
Think about that for a second. Coco Gauff had just captured her first Grand Slam title, one of the biggest milestones in tennis. Yet Aryna Sabalenka's reaction came across as if the win wasn't truly earned, suggesting it was more about her own mistakes than Gauff's performance. Still, Gauff handled the moment with impressive composure. She acknowledged that heading into the final, Sabalenka was the favorite based on her recent dominance and top ranking, but she didn't let that define the outcome. Instead, Gauff confidently responded by saying that no matter who she faced that day, she believed she had a strong chance to come out on top.
Aryna was playing the last few weeks. She was the favorite to win, so I think she was the best person that I could have played in the final. Her being #1 in the world, she was the best person to play, so I think I got the hardest matchup just if you go off stats alone. Obviously, Iga being a champion here, it was going to be a tough match either way. But yeah, I think regardless of who I played, I think I had a good shot.
That's the kind of calm, confident mindset you expect from a true champion. Coco Gauff didn't get pulled into drama or fire back publicly, choosing instead to let her performance speak. But Elena Rybakina operates differently. She's not one to ignore perceived disrespect, especially when bigger issues seem to be involved. And that's where things take another turn. Reports began surfacing that the Women's Tennis Association may have shown signs of favoritism toward Aryna Sabalenka during the tournament. Multiple sources claimed that Rybakina's coach was unexpectedly removed under circumstances many found questionable, with the timing raising even more suspicion as it happened right when she was gaining serious momentum heading into the final. To be fair, the full details behind that decision haven't been officially confirmed, but from the outside, it created the impression that the situation may have unfairly shifted in Sabalenka's favor, leaving fans and analysts openly questioning the integrity of the moment. And when Elena Rybakina still managed to win despite all those challenges, it only made her triumph more powerful and her protest far more meaningful. That's exactly why her refusal to take part in the ceremonial photo carried so much weight. It wasn't just directed at Aryna Sabalenka, but at the Women's Tennis Association as a whole, a clear signal that she wouldn't stay silent or pretend everything was fine when it clearly wasn't. Stepping back, this moment says a lot about the current state of women's tennis. The sport has made huge strides in professionalism, equality, and global representation, with stars like Naomi Osaka, Sloane Stephens, Coco Gauff, Zhang Qinwen, and Iga Swiatek helping shape a more diverse and global tour than ever before. But situations like this are a reminder that progress is still ongoing. When a top player is accused of making racially insensitive remarks, it goes beyond a personal dispute and starts to impact the culture of the entire sport. Young fans around the world are watching, and moments like these set the tone for what is acceptable and what isn't. The WTA has confirmed it is investigating the situation, which is an important first step. But now the spotlight remains firmly on what actions follow as players, fans, and the wider tennis community wait to see how seriously the issue will ultimately be addressed. The big question now is whether there will be real consequences, or if this situation quietly fades away because Aryna Sabalenka remains one of the tour's most prominent and marketable stars. At the same time, it's important to recognize the immense pressure these athletes face, especially in a WTA Finals Championship match where rankings, reputation, and huge prize money are all on the line. Frustration in those moments is completely natural. Tennis history is filled with emotional reactions, from Chris Evert showing visible anger, to John McEnroe becoming known for his fiery outbursts, and even Roger Federer having his share of early career struggles with composure. But there's a clear line between competitive emotion and behavior that crosses into disrespect. Players can be upset about losing without diminishing their opponent's achievement, and they can express frustration without making remarks that target someone's background or identity. What has many analysts concerned is that this doesn't appear to be a one-off incident, but rather part of a growing pattern. One bad moment can be forgiven, everyone has those, but repeated situations in major matches start to point toward a deeper issue that needs attention. Unfortunately for Elena Rybakina, the controversy has taken attention away from what should have been a defining and celebratory milestone in her career. She captured the WTA finals, one of the sport's most prestigious titles, and did it by defeating the world #1 in convincing fashion on the biggest stage. Elena Rybakina showed that her Wimbledon Championships victory was no fluke, proving she can rise to the moment when it matters most. Yet instead of celebrating that achievement, the spotlight has shifted to allegations of inappropriate comments and questions about possible bias within the Women's Tennis Association. It's an unfortunate turn, because Rybakina did everything right. She prepared, executed brilliantly, and earned her win without controversy on the court. Still, her decision to take a stand may end up being just as significant as the trophy itself. History has shown us that athletes can influence more than just their sport, from Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat, to Muhammad Ali taking a stand on principle, moments that echo far beyond competition. While this situation exists on a different scale, the core idea remains the same. When faced with something that feels wrong, staying silent or speaking up becomes a defining choice. Now, attention turns to what happens next. Whether Aryna Sabalenka will face any formal consequences such as fines or suspension, or if the WTA ultimately decides there isn't enough verified evidence to take further action. And if that's how things play out, what kind of message does it send for Elena Rybakina? Could this situation affect her relationships with other players on tour, or influence how sponsors and tournament organizers choose to support her? There's also the possibility of quiet pressure behind the scenes, the kind that pushes athletes to stay silent rather than challenge the system. These are the hidden dynamics fans rarely see, yet they can shape a player's entire career. At the same time, tennis is trying to expand into new regions, with events like the WTA finals being staged in Riyadh as part of that global push.